This meeting to order. Administrator Sorrell's calling Member Allison. First order of business is there a motion to allow Member Allison, Member Daly, Member Phelan? Should be, I don't have
Hey,
any.
Scott.
Hello.
Okay, so make the move in the second, and then please record your vote. Good, you? It was Member Daly and Member Phelan. Member Salzer was an aye. All ayes. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Next is the approval of the January 7th minutes. Is there a motion to put those? Member Williams, Member Renault. Please vote. Is it working? Member Salzers, your vote, aye. And Member Allison, how would you vote?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it unanimously. Next is our informational reports on the Springdale Long-Term Care, ARPA, and Enterprise reports. We'll receive and file those unless there's specific questions to those reports. This might be one of the shortest for execs we'll have here. Seeing none, discussion, we'll move to standing committees. Member Salzer, Infrastructure?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. We had 5 resolutions. They were all adopted unanimously, and beginning with the first was the cash rent. We have some income, as you people have read, in regard to our farmland there in the Edwards area. They are divided by, the land is divided by Route 8, and Shane, we had 2 bids on it, and the best bid was the highest bid. Usually you always say, well, we'll take the low bid on this, and so what? No, this one we want the highest because this is our income and so forth in the farmland. The Shane family will handle this for us this year, and it'll be a 3-year contract, and the amount of land that they bid on is 20.6 acres, and we're going to get $271 per acre for this. The second one was the phase 1 of this preliminary improvements that we're going to make from Main Street in Glassford down to Route 24, and we are hiring the Hanson engineering firm for this. We're going to pay them $880 to handle this for us, and we hope that eventually they'll find some money in the second phase where we can do the hill itself. I'm talking about our engineers finding the money and so forth, Amy and Mr. Gillis and so forth. The third one there has to do with snow removal and lawn mowing for some of our buildings that we haven't always had under contract and so forth, but we are going to give Classy Grass, which is located in Bellevue. I'm glad to see that both were Peoria County companies that got these two, and Reinhardt, who is going to handle the mowing. They are located in Pioneer Park. So they will be doing that for us, and some of the places will be, of course, the courthouse gift home. Trying to think, here, give me a chance to think about some of the names of other the places. Hannah City, the West Campus, which would, of course, be the jail as well as GDC, and there was one more. But I also want to mention the fact that I think our learned council up here is going to look into possibly if the American Mausoleum, did we discuss that yesterday with you on the mowing and so forth, which could save us some things. The last two are I didn't tell you what all the funding was for in these others, but I think you can read and know what it is. But the last two resolutions, they have to do with the township motor fuel tax. Some of the townships on their own are going out and taking the bids. They're not waiting for the whole group like what they used to. And we know that Hollis, both Hollis and Limestone, they took bids, and they decided to, of course, award their township roads for the seal coating to Porter Brothers, which is from up in the area of Rock Falls. Now, if I can remember the actual amount of money, I think the Hollis people, I think their bids for their seal coating in their township, $79,615.35. I don't know why, we include that 35 cents. I've always thought, well, let's just round it up. If it's over 50, if it's over 50 cents, round it up to the next dollar. If it's below 50 cents, then take it down to the next dollar. Anyway, they did want us to adopt this, which we will recommend to the board for the adoption of this resolution. And the other resolution was Limestone, and they also, as I said, was taking their best bid, and that was from Porter as well. And the bid on the Limestone area was $198,000. Somebody might have to help me out. $198,292.10. And Mr. Chairman, that's it. If anybody has any questions. Of course, as I said, that's township motor fuel tax, and our county engineer, Amy McLaren, she has to, of course, check on all this for these people. She handles their money.
Did you leave anything out? Questions? Thank you, Chairman Salzer. Next is Member Duncan, Ways and Means.
Yes, the Ways and Means Committee, they had one resolution for Peoria County monthly delinquent taxes for January 2025 with 5 conveyances, and the vote was unanimous.
Thank you, Member Duncan. Next, Member Rosenbaum and land use.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had two zoning cases. The first one was a petition of Trent Overhue. That was for Madison Park Shopping Center, the old Kroger store. They want to make it a storage facility. And we had, we didn't vote it through the way he did it. We did an amendment. He just wanted to do some outside storage. And so we
Yeah,
passed.
talk more into them.
That better? Okay, I got to get closer. Okay, so the first one was with Trent Overhue, with Madison Park Shopping Center where the old Kroger's was. He tried to get other businesses in there and couldn't, so they're going to make it a storage unit. We did make an amendment to the petition to just have inside storage for the time being, and that passed. And the next one was a petition of Allen Solar LLC down in the Chillicothe area, and that one we had it passed, and it's going to. They came in 2018 and had a 4 megawatt one there, and they were wanting to make it a 5 megawatt with the same amount of ground. So they were going to get more solar storage or more solar power out of it, the same amount of ground that they're going to do the 4 megawatt. We had two people vote against, the rest of it voted for it, and that was what else I was going to say about that. Yeah, two were against it, 4 were for it, or the rest of them were for it, and that passed. Any questions?
Thank you, Member Rosenbaum. I do want to add to that, though, just for the sake of everybody on the board, though. We've approved over 40-some solar fields. Like he said, this one was 2 megawatts for 4 megawatts, we're adding to 5. But there's 3 new restrictions. And the 3 restrictions are now, right now, we allow it perpetually. And so you basically, once you get the special use, you now have 3 years to build it. And if you do not build it in 3 years, you would have to reapply. Also, we've run into problems of these solar developers have been selling these, and then they sell it to a second person and to a third person. So the promises made at ZBA hearings are not the promises kept from multiple sales. So it is restricted only to the owner, the original filer of that. And they are also required, we've ran into problems of them not updating their records on a yearly basis. And Andrew would try to come, and I'll use Airport Road for example, which has been kind of a disaster of a project of not knowing, we were not even notified that it had been on its third owner from the original people. So trying to chase them down, that you are required to keep that special use. You have to notify on a yearly basis of your bond and your who is the owner identification. So I think those are key learning lessons over the course of approvals that we have now identified. And this would be the first one that is basically overlapping those restrictions, because we cannot go back on the past ones.
The part that I forgot to add was that this solar company had the 4 megawatts, so they didn't have to come to us, but they were wanting to make it a 5 megawatt, so they had to come to get that approved. And so for the people that, let's say people down in Chillicothe that weren't in favor of it, they could have gone with the 4 megawatt, and there's nothing we could do. So that was, they came for the 5 megawatt and upgraded it, and it was going along with our new resolutions. And thank you, Chairman Dillon, for bringing them up. I forgot about them, but those were the big ones that we've had some problems down in my neck of the woods and a few other places. So hopefully, by the time we get this done, we might have figured out all the different nuances to make sure we don't have these problems. Thank you.
And to his credit on that, Member Rulin did have some valid concerns for that, but as Member Rosenbaum said, they were going to build a 4 megawatt basically on it or not, so this is just tighter restrictions on it. Next is operations.
Yes, we had one resolution for Tyler Enterprise Justice System, SaaS migration, which stands for Software as a Service, the platform. This is obviously, well, it is necessary because the current system will no longer be supported, and it's important for us to plan and transition, carefully plan transition in order to not have any potential disruptions to the justice services and ensure long-term viability of the county's justice system. And it was approved unanimously.
Thank you, Member Coates. Any questions? Seeing none, Member Renault, Health.
We had no resolutions.
Thank you, Member Renault. Public safety, Danny?
We had two resolutions. The first was a appropriation of $50,000 under a JAG grant for transportation assistance. This passed unanimously. It is to provide bus passes, Uber, and rideshare opportunities to persons that are in criminal cases in the 5 counties of the 10th Judicial Circuit. The second was a grant acceptance for PCAPS in the amount of $2,000. This one's going to be used for CAT programs that could or will directly impact the environment that cats are kept in at PCAPS. And that also passed unanimously.
Thank you, Member Phelan. Questions? Seeing none. Finance? Do you want to handle it, Member Daly?
Finance, Audit, and Legislative has one resolution, the 2025 State Legislative Agenda. As Member Renault pointed out, we've already presented this to our legislators, and this agenda passed unanimously.
Thank you, Member Daly. Next is public comment. Seeing none. A couple miscellaneous things. Mr. Sorrell, do you want to talk about finance and the landfill?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. I mentioned this at County Health Committee. Many of you were present for that. But those of you that are on finance and exec that are not on health, I need to ask for a special joint committee meeting on Thursday the 13th. We'll figure out a time that's convenient for everyone, somewhere between 5 and 5:30. The reason for the joint committee meeting is to seek your approval of a budget amendment to the Solid Waste Management Fund. The amount is $300,000. We have a significant amount of reserves available, so this would not have a significant financial impact. This request is exclusively for the City County Landfill Committee, pursuant to an intergovernmental agreement we have with the City of Peoria. Both of us have a fiscal responsibility for the committee. The term sheet that you approved for Landfill 3 last year, that agreement is still being finalized and has not been executed. Therefore, the Landfill Committee's cash reserves continue to dwindle, and until such time as the agreement is executed and then GFL will issue the initial round of payments that agreement requires them to do, the city, as the landfill committee's fiscal agent, and the committee itself is a little worried about their cash flows. They estimate that their cash reserves will be exhausted in mid-late February to early March. They don't want to be in a position where they would go cash negative. So therefore, this budget amendment that we're going to recommend to you would be to bootstrap for temporary purposes the landfill committee. Once the GFL agreement is executed and we receive payment from GFL, that's payments due to the city, due to the county, and due to the committee, the resolution that you'll be voting on will actually then enact a second budget amendment that will revert the unspent dollars back to the reserves. So we'll take that appropriation authority away. The resolution also has language that we will negotiate with the committee for repayment of any funds that they might have to access during this interim period. Happy to answer any questions. And Finance Committee members, apologies for not mentioning that a couple minutes ago.
Questions? Lastly, member no.
Could we make the language a little bit stronger about the reimbursement? That would be my only ask. That unless
We can. The intergovernmental agreement doesn't mandate that the landfill committee pay us back. It's a good faith effort by Chairman Morris that says they're willing to do that at this point. I'm going to take him at his word, but we can try and get
I just
something
feel
else
that if
broken.
we're fronting the money, that we should get it back.
Thank you, Member Renault. Any other thing under miscellaneous? So hopefully, here soon, we will be finalizing the retreat. It actually looks like we might have a day in order. The reason we had a punt from February is I think the most we could get was 10 people, which getting consensus on something with 10 people of an 18-member board does not work. So sorry for the delay, but hopefully we'll have something soon and be able to reserve your calendar. Anything else under miscellaneous? Member or no?
I just wanted to take a second to recognize Gretchen. She's had a very busy month with 3 significant events, and right now it's her and a couple of interns, and I think she's done an outstanding job. So I want to thank Gretchen for all her work this month.
Agreed. Anything else under miscellaneous? Seeing none, meeting adjourned.